Something really big is happening in India's northeast. It's going through this massive transformation. And if you're preparing for exams, you absolutely have to understand the Ashtalakshmi strategy. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the vision, the hard numbers, and what this whole development push really means on the ground. So you're going to hear this term Ashtalakshmi a lot. It's the key to the government's entire vision for the Northeast. And it's not just a fancy name, it's a whole new way of looking at the 8 states, seeing them as 8 individual sources of wealth and prosperity for all of India. All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into what this Ashtalakshmi concept is all about. Then we'll see it in action with a real-world example from Arunachal Pradesh. After that, we're going to zoom out and look at the data, unpack the main strategies, and then dive into the key sectors. And to finish it all off, we'll wrap everything up into a nice, tight summary for your exams. So what's the big deal with this word Ashtalakshmi? Well, it comes from the 8 forms of the goddess of wealth. And applying this to the 8 northeastern states is, a really powerful symbolic move. It's all about changing the story from, oh, that remote region, to this is a central engine for India's future. It's a total shift in perspective. Okay, a vision is great, but what does it actually look like on the ground? Let's zoom right into Arunachal Pradesh to see how these big national policies are really changing lives and creating brand new opportunities. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. You can see the direct line from a big government scheme to local impact. Take the Polo Airport. That's a direct result of the Udon scheme, and it's helped double the number of airports in the region. And then you have something like the Zero Music Festival, where the JM Trinity, that's your John Donne bank account, your Aadhaar ID, and your mobile phone, means local artists can now take digital payments. It's national integration happening in real time. And it's not just about new tech. What's happening is this incredible blend of ancient tradition and modern business. You've got the UNESCO-recognized Apatani farming system, which has been around forever, working alongside women-led self-help groups that are getting a boost from schemes like Mudra Yojana. The Nara Abba Winery? That's a perfect case study for vocal for local, local to global. And for your exam, this is a key takeaway. Digital e-marketplaces are giving traditional weavers direct access to customers all over the world. All right, so we've seen a snapshot in Arunachal. Now let's zoom out and look at the entire region. The numbers really paint a picture, and they explain exactly why people are now calling the Northeast India's growth engine. Just look at this number. Over 3,400 crore rupees. This is the highest amount of money the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, or MDONR, has ever spent in a single year. This isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. It's basically a massive financial statement saying we are serious about making this Ashtalakshmi vision a reality. And listen, this isn't just a one-off thing. We're talking about a nearly 75% jump in spending in a single year, and over 200% growth in just 3 years. That's not just growth, that's acceleration. It tells you that projects are not just being funded, they're being executed on the ground much, much faster. This is a real long-term trend. Okay, so how do you keep track of all the spending? This is a name you absolutely need to remember for your exams. Purvotar Vikas Setu. It's a digital portal for tracking all these projects in real time. With 97% of projects being inspected, it's a huge tool for transparency and making sure things get done right. This kind of good governance is exactly what builds investor confidence. So we've got the money, we've got the monitoring. But what's really driving all this change? It really boils down to 2 core pillars: some fundamental reforms in how things are governed, and a really aggressive strategy to bring in new investment. All right, for everyone studying, here's a super useful way to remember the core strategy. Just think of the 3 R's of the Northeast Rise. It's simple: reform of the institutions, reach to get development to the very last person, and a laser focus on data-driven results. That's the whole philosophy right there. Now look at these figures. We're talking about nearly 4.5 lakh crore rupees in investment commitments from just one summit. That is a game changer for the region. And it's not just about the money, it's a massive vote of confidence. It shows that big investors and financial groups like NEDFI now see the Northeast as a serious place to do business. We've covered the what and the why. Now let's get into the how. We're going to dive deep into the specific sectors where all this action is happening, the areas that have been targeted to really drive this growth. And guess what? We've got another great mnemonic for you. To remember the 8 key sectors where these special task forces are focused, just think ISHIP-TP.
It's a really easy way to recall everything from investment in infrastructure to sports, handicrafts, tourism, economic corridors, protein, and agriculture. And this isn't just a list of ideas. These are real, concrete actions. We're talking about creating a single brand Northeast for tourism, setting a hard deadline of 2029 for rail connectivity to all states, and hitting specific targets for things like oil palm cultivation and the bamboo industry. These are measurable goals, not just vague promises.
Okay, let's pull everything together. This last part is your high-yield summary. If you're cramming for an exam, this is the slide you need. We've packed all the essential keywords, data, and concepts onto one single slide for you.
So let's recap the must-knows. First, the core concept, Ashtalakshmi. Second, the key schemes you need to know, UDAN and the JAM Trinity. Remember the record spending by MDON and the 3Rs governance model. The huge investment figures and those connectivity deadlines are crucial. And of course, don't forget the I-ship-T mnemonic. This gives you the complete picture from the big vision all the way down to the execution.
And I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. This whole transformation is about more than just domestic development. As the Northeast becomes India's gateway to the East, its integration with Southeast Asia is the next big chapter. So the question you should be asking yourself is, what new geopolitical opportunities and, of course, challenges will this create? That is the real long-term significance of the rise of the Ashtalakshmi.